Good morning, everybody. Do you ever feel also totally like powerless when thinking about stuff like global market and then world politics or environmental change, climate change? We actually do all the time, and we guess it's kind of a normal thing because there are those logics which are somehow very disconnected from what we can control. We can try to influence stuff with our votes, but then, looking at things, things are going, it seems like it's easy to feel discouraged sometimes. And those global logics are actually influencing a lot small communities around the globe. And small communities are actually struggling with those global logics without having any control. So if you're born in Western Africa, for instance, you might see your village being wiped away by to leave space for like rapeseed oil or palm oil because we want green energy and be sustainable with those. Or like if you grow in Southeast Asia, you might be working for a cup of rice a day and build technologies then being sold on the other side of the world for hundreds of dollars. And also, if you are one of the many Americans growing up in the rural areas of the country, you might lose your job just because the commodities price is going down for a point-something%, and then your town would be emptying out, and like traditions and the history of generations being lost forever. What we want to do is actually to try to change this logic, this passive acceptance of these logics, and try to instigate a more creative and more aware sense of community that can actually bring a positive lead to change and make communities better.
Mining towns in central southern Arizona are facing slow extinction due to their dependency on a mono-economical culture which doesn't work anymore. Our community are losing and forgetting their social identity. Together with the community, we had observed and understood and communicated social interaction by transforming their perspective on decay into creative energy. In doing so, we are leading and encouraging a system which relies on critical point of views, responsibility, and independence. Our project is about small, temporary pop-up structures which are raising awareness on the quality of the space, enhancing interaction, welcoming different identities, and the sense of belonging. The location where we are intervening, Globe in Miami, it's full of opportunities. Among few, there is amazing landscape, beautiful nature, of course, farming, and the culinary culture. However, the youth in the community does not feel connected any longer. This is due to the lack of opportunities these communities are providing to them or not providing to them. They feel that the community is getting poorer, is getting older, and does not tolerate diversities. And this, of course, is a problem because the infrastructure is not serving the community. While working with the community, we feel that we have reached our goal for this project. What we do is we choreograph transit structures, exhibition, community meetings, events, and situations. Every time we do this, we try to bring the memorable and the photographable element to it. In so doing, we extend and prolong the experience, and we tend to allow it to be shared through social media. We would like to welcome you here at South by Eco at the Brush Square, where we have a little installation that defines our first prototype for Globe Miami. Our strategy relies on optimizing the community, and allowing them to look at their community by taking responsibility and improving their social quality. And I'm done. And thank you. We are open for questions.
I have a quick one. You talked about infrastructure and transit, but it also seemed like there's something about social infrastructure. So is there a relationship?
Absolutely, because they do the work. Part of my speech would have been that we empower the community to do the work themselves. We are working with a local advisory committee, which we build together with the community, and we collaborate. We've done many things together, among which exhibitions, the Paint the Town Day. We have workshops with the kids, with the students. We encourage meetings with the community, with various entities and minorities.
So, is this work replicable replicable for other communities?
It actually is within, because what we are trying to do is actually to build with very cheap materials and like reused materials. It's really like the big chunk of the work is to get the community together and then together design and develop items to change this perspective on their towns in decay. So what we need is actually that there's not like much budget that we need, but it's mostly a community which is willing to do something for themselves, and that's basically our fuel to make this project go. So that's what we want to do, is actually try to see if this method can be applicable in other towns, and we believe it is.
Yeah, and we jump on opportunities like, for instance, the Parking Day. We just celebrated it a few weeks ago, and we did it in Nebraska, in Lincoln, which doesn't have anything in common with Arizona, but they are replicable.
I mean, is there a long game? Is there an idea of being attractive to stay in small towns? Or, you're starting, you're doing small tactical things, but is there a 10-year vision?
Yeah, the idea is actually that when we achieve this swap of perspective, more development will come, and we are seeing it already in Global Miami. And what we care to do is actually to get this also economic development just as a side effect and not as a main purpose. So we noticed, for instance, that when more people came to visit our installations, citizens started like fixing up their backyards because they know that the flow of people are coming in, and then they start like painting the facade or taking care of the garden, which is, we think, what the success of our project would be like at a bigger scale.
But also the ambition of the people has grown. We are working with students that never saw any other opportunity but working in minings or as a storefront, and now they are really thinking about continuing their education. So this is really interesting.
Curious, so you said you formed a local advisory committee, so there weren't pre-existing community organizations?
They weren't. Well, let me rephrase it. They were, but they were only formal, and it was very difficult for them to get together. Apparently, it took 2 foreigners to really get them together and communicate. And I must say, the community that were existing there before we arrived were highly monocultural. They were mostly men, white, and now we are encouraging more mix because the population is highly mixed. There are so many Mexicans. I mean, we're talking about South Arizona.
How did you find this specific community?
Yeah, so what happens is that we were interested already in Europe in like rural areas, and we wanted to do some research, like to extend our research here in the States. And we were asked to develop like a class on sustainability, and we wanted to shift it to social sustainability. So we looked for areas like just on a map, like a few towns around the metropolitan area of Phoenix, and we visited them all. And when we got to Miami and Globe, we understood that was the right place, not only because it's beautiful and there's been like beautiful architecture throughout, but it's also because of its state of decay and the perception of the people of their place being in decay. But still, like all the people we met and like in the street and we interviewed, they were so excited about the possibility of doing something for their town. And
Thank you.